overly into muscles on anyone, but a little bit of definition goes a long way. Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous. This is a book by Autumn K. England. It's from Poison Pen. It's a cozy fantasy, coming out June 2nd, 2026. I received this arc from NetGalley in exchange for a fair review. As warm as a cup of tea and as sweet as a blueberry scone, Field Guide to the Formerly Villainous is a delight of a book. What is it about? When Oakland Nettlewood accidentally joined an evil world-ending cult, mind-control magic forced them to do unspeakable things. Years later, the realm's heroes have finally saved the day, defeated the villain, and shattered the last remnants of the spell, leaving destruction in their wake. And so, with a spell-damaged memory and a whole bushel of trauma, Oakland escapes to a small farm on the edge of Mossley's Rest and swears an oath. After all the things they were forced to do with their magic, they will never use it again. Ever. The no-nonsense ghost granny who lives in Oakland's house has other ideas. As she coaxes Oakland out of their shell and back into the world, they find companionship, a grumpy horse and a very good dog, friendship, a local bard and a magical baker who should just kiss already, and tentative romance, a paladin librarian who makes Oakland's heart come alive for the first time in ages. Magic even seems possible again, though strictly for foraging magical mushrooms and protecting the farm from bugs. Healing comes in gentle waves, and Oakland doesn't have to do it alone. So what does it mean when an inquisitor comes to town to hunt former cultists, just as Oakland begins to think that they maybe, just maybe, deserve a happy ending after all? As usual, I was sort of hoping for an evil necromancer who mends their ways, but what I got was not that at all, and I didn't mind in the slightest this time. As someone who, given I'm now over 40 and required to take up older person hobbies, has a love of gardening, I also love the small town factor, the ghost mentor, the love story, the friends, the queer normativity, and the world building was light but adequate for the storyline and the premise. The world felt larger than what we saw, which to me is successful in this sort of story. You don't want too much world building or it loses its coziness, but too little and it feels flat. There was actually more about farming than I expected too, but not an excessive amount. There's also descriptions of great food, and there's a library. The prose falls on the colloquial at times, but it was never too much to draw it out of the fantasy setting for me. Sometimes when like that kind of language, like saying you guys and stuff like that, is used in a fantasy setting, it sometimes makes me, it's not anachronistic because it's a made-up world, but it feels anachronistic in a way, you know what I mean? So this had a little bit of casualness, but not enough that I was like annoyed by it. Oakland is very likable. They are a traumatized, rather frightful person at the start, but they grow into themselves, and while they do things that are sometimes frustrating out of fear, it never feels belabored or excessive or like hyperbolic. They're also young, like I think early 20s, so that immaturity also makes sense. If they were my age, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? But Oakland also kind of owns up to it, and there's never the like annoying miscommunication trope. It felt like a younger person learning how to adult, and I thought that was really well done. The other side characters are such fun. There's the baker and the bard, who may or may not have a thing going on, a bunch of townsfolk who add to kind of the quaint factor, and Leor, of course, the paladin librarian. I loved how Oakland is first drawn to her because of her muscled arms, something that never gets enough attention on women, I find. I personally love a well-toned upper body in a woman, so I totally got that preoccupation. I'm not overly into muscles on anyone, but a little bit of definition goes a long way. She also had her own minor arc, which fleshed her out and didn't leave her feeling like just the love interest. It takes up, the romance takes up a little bit of the plot, but it doesn't drag it into romance with a capital R territory. It's also closed door too, if that matters to you. The plot itself was well balanced. While it is definitely not a plot-heavy book, a lot of the book is just like, what am I going to make for the market? Oakland does have things they're wrestling with, and there is an overarching external threat to add some tension to the story. It never falls, even though there are some kind of sad things that happen, it never loses its kind of coziness. And the coziness also isn't so much that it becomes boring. It's got a really great balance there. I guess the main kind of plot is Oakland kind of learning how to live with their trauma and regain self-worth. So if that is something that appeals to you or, sounds like, a lovely story, it is a lovely story. It's cozy but not slow, it's charming and sweet, and I had a great time reading it. If you love cozy queer books with a bit of magic and some small town quaintness, you will really enjoy this. I thought it was absolutely delightful. I am so glad that I was approved for the ARC for this one. I'm totally going to be buying this one. Yeah, so thank you so much to Poison Pen for the ARC. I really appreciate it.